Well, what do we have here? We have a Kane's Wrath replay. That's what we have here. What do you have here? You have a YouTube video that I made, probably because this is a pretty awesome game sent to me by DJ Chill, because this is the Kane's Wrath Match of the Fortnight, GameReplays.org, Match of the Fortnight, and we do have JonyCalcinha2. I'm not sure how to pronounce the second part of his name, but he is as the green nod in the bottom side of Small Town USA, and we do have Unleashed, which, pretty popular player, pretty good Kane's Wrath player, pretty good esports player in general, and he is red screen in the top right side, and I guess Jony is kind of in the, Jony is kind of in the bottom left side, and we do have two engineers out of both players, as you probably saw, two assimilators out of Unleashed. Of course, everyone grabs those Tib spikes because they're close by, plus, you know, econ boost, $10 a second, plus this I won, $10 a second, plus, of course, the initial 500, you know, that's 1,000 credits right there. Dropping down the initial refinery is pretty standard there, but we do have Unleashed grabbing up one building. I think he did grab another, but I think he's trying to bait these riflemen, this militant squad out. He is going to be able to take down that militant squad. Yes, he is, because he did have two buzzer squads, lost a buzzer squad, but then we do have a scouting rifleman squad possibly going to take up one of these garrisonable structures, kind of provide vision along this area, and then also any sort of scouting information. So, you know, if someone tries to sneak an attack down there, then you'll see it coming, you'll know what the composition is, possibly, you know, not guarantee, but you can spot it. A little bit of a militant squad harassment going on, not going to do too much damage. Unleashed could easily get a gunwalker out to deal with those, but we do have an attack bike. This attack bike, I'm not sure what it's going to do. I mean, it's not going to be able to win Jony the game, I don't think. Well, that would be a pretty incredible game. But it looks like the attack bike is backing out. We do have fairly standard builds, dropping down the war factory and then getting a couple of extra harvesters. Usually players get around 5. They drop down 2 refineries and then get 3 harvesters out of their warp sphere or their war factory. Looks like Unleashed is going for a gunwalker and seekers, and also dropping down the barracks again so we can get out some infantry. Binding that infantry with the gunwalker allows it to clear buildings and also, you know, added anti-infantry capabilities. We do have a seeker moving down this way, going to be attacking that that attack bike. Gunwalkers on the other side. The gunwalker moving down, probably not going to be able to do too much, as Jony does have a number of attack bikes, a fair amount of attack bikes, and still that Raider buggy. Looks like 2, 4, 5, 6 Seekers, so he is going kind of heavy on the Seeker production. Jony is, that is. Looks like Unleashed did garrison that buzzer squad in that building, going to be able to see a little bit, probably can't see too much of Jony's base, but he can see a little bit, and we do have Unleashed, as I said it was Jony, but I got the names mixed up. Dropping down a second warp sphere, massing up a couple of Seekers, not a huge mass. We do have a dancing Seeker, but starting to mass up Seekers, and then he's getting a couple more harvesters. Looks like he's just now up to 5, getting more Seekers, so it seems Unleashed starting to mass his Seekers. Yep, 39, 54, so he's kind of massing Seekers, just 1 or 2, not that many, but he is expanding, and Jony is not expanding, so let's see what he's got going on. Dropping down the Tiberium chemical plant, drops down the Tiberium seed Tiberium. But Jony, not really spamming anything, is up to avatars. Looks like he's now moving out his MCV. Probably going to be expanding. You know, it would be kind of interesting if... I was going to say it would be kind of interesting if both players just kind of blindly went to opposite Tiberium fields, because then there'll be no conflict, but if Jony... We do... Oh, stealth flame tank. Totally missing everything. We do have 2 stealth flame tanks going to be taking down the refinery and possibly the stasis chamber. No! Refiner lives, stasis chamber takes no damage. And 4,000 Seekers out of Unleashed are going to be moving into Jony's base. And Jony is going to need all of the avatars and stealth tanks he can muster, as well as, you know, a couple of base defenses wouldn't hurt either. We do have Unleashed quite possibly going to crush Jony right here and end this game. This is a lot of Seekers. We do have a stasis field, temporal wormhole going down, going to be slowing and neutralizing units inside of it. Keeping that. I'm actually not sure if that barracks can produce anything in this state. Doesn't look like it. And the Avatar does go down. Looks like Tiberium Vein Detonation going to be able to take out a couple of Seekers, actually quite a few Seekers. Looks like with the Black Hand. Looks like Jony will clean this up just fine. That Tiberium Vein Detonation did quite a bit of damage, and now Jony is looking to be alright. And beginning Tiberium Field 4 Unleashed is completely gone, and Jony does have a little bit. He did use that Seed Tiberium, so that helped his Tiberium Field last a little bit longer. And he is expanding to the exact same expansion field as Unleashed, so we're probably going to be seeing some hot contestment over here. And I'm guessing Unleashed is getting this assimilator, so we can try and steal Jony's Tiberium Spike. You know, take that income away from Jony as well as claim it for himself. Long distance harvesting, as you could say, looks like, I mean, it's not necessarily worth it to try and base creep all the way down there. Looks like he's dropping the Ichor Seed, I believe that's called. Little support power, basically same thing as Seed Tiberium, gives you a little bit of a Tiberium field, and that will be very fast mining or harvesting. A couple of Seekers not going to be able to take down this MCV, not even going to be doing very much damage as they get crushed by the Avatar. Yes, both of them do get crushed. So Unleashed, he took a lot of damage with that kind of initial assault. There was kind of some smaller battles going on earlier in the game, but this was the first real assault in the game. And now Jony is looking to be in a pretty good position. He does have that Black Hand, which kills infantry very well, very easily, and also does additional damage to buildings. Still not a whole lot going on this right side of the map. It's just kind of being neglected, just, you know, long distance harvesting by both players. And where is, I guess, Unleashed just sold off his MCV. Does lose the refinery. No, he didn't sell off his MCV. Or his drone ship, as it is called for the scrim. But he does have two gravity stabilizers, and he is getting plenty of Storm Riders, because 8 Storm Riders can be very, very effective, not only at harassing of Tiberium Harvesters and infantry, but, I mean, just in general, because if we look at Jony's army composition, he's got anti-tank, anti-building, anti-infantry, anti-infantry. I don't see any anti-air. He can easily produce attack bikes, which are cheap and fairly fast, but he has basically no anti-air, which means Unleashed Storm Riders, they're going to be taking out his operations center. They're going to be going unchecked. And they could, you know, do some damage on these avatars, take down some infantry, possibly eliminate this obelisk, which the obelisks aren't cheap. They are, I believe, 1,800 credits. We can double check my knowledge right now. 2,000 credits, so I was wrong. There are 2,000 credits, which, you know, you lose 2,000 credits, that can be a pretty big deal. We did have disintegrators. They were sitting up here in this corner with a buzzer squad. Looks like they're moving in for the kill, probably going to get taken out, run over quite easily. No, they do take out 2 Tiberium Harvesters, possibly going to be taking out a 3rd. This is, wow, Unleashed doing ridiculous amounts of damage with just these couple of disintegrator squads. Jony's taking quite a bit, and also Storm Rider's just cleaning everything up. Jony is just taking a beating. I don't know if he can come back from this, but I mean, you know, I was saying that earlier when Unleashed was massing Seekers, and Jony came out of that, and he actually kind of turned it around a little bit. Does drop the SAM site, possibly going to be getting out an attack bike, doesn't get it. Looks like the stealth tank not doing a whole lot, could have possibly taken out those Storm Riders, or if Unleashed was watching it carefully, the Storm Riders could have completely taken out the stealth tank if it tried to attack. So not sure who would have won that battle theoretically if Jony had decided to attack those Storm Riders. Could have turned out very differently, but we do have... So Jony's clearing up these Storm Riders, and now that there's not a whole lot going on for Unleashed, so actually these Storm Riders were, you know, taking out another operations center, and he did take out 2 or 3 harvesters, 3 or 4 harvesters of Jony's, taking down a power plant as well, but Unleashed doesn't have anything to follow this up, really. I mean, alright, so he's starting to mass disintegrators, might be able to grab the Tiberium Spike, but Jony is going to be dropping down his MCV. He's going to see this coming, and, well, I don't know if he will, but he might see this coming, and if he does, he's going to be able to drop down possibly some base defenses and get this taken care of, because, you know, disintegrators just drop down a couple of shredder turrets, and it'll take them right out. But Unleashed still massing out, well, not massing out, but still keeping his Storm Riders in healthy numbers, flying them a little bit too close to that SAM site. One does get taken out, leaving him with probably 7. I haven't really counted. He had 8 originally, and he lost a couple, rebuilds a couple. He's going for the power plants, which is nice because, yep, SAM sites don't do a whole lot when they don't have power. And it doesn't do a whole lot if you drop down another SAM site and they still don't have power. But he did power down that refinery to give power to his SAM sites, and they were able to take out 2 Storm Riders, possibly 3, and 4 do go down, leaving him with only 3. So, all in all, Unleashed, he took down a couple of power plants, but he doesn't really have much of an army other than the Storm Riders. So right now he's maxing up disintegrators, but even still, he's got, you know, as you can see, there's nothing building here at this portal, and he's building Storm Riders, probably. Nope, not Storm Riders there, no Storm Riders there. He only has 5 Storm Riders. He's dropping down anti-infantry defenses, but he doesn't have a whole lot going on. That being said, Jony doesn't have too much building either, as he has no production facilities, but he does have an MCV, so he can be dropping down base defenses. Oh, well, now he has a Redeemer engineering facility. And he wasted that laser fencing because he used it too early. So I'm assuming that did cost him the 500 credits, but he did not get any of the benefit, and we still do have 5 Storm Riders and no base defense for this tech lab. But does Jony still no mobile anti-air vehicles? He does have a couple of militant rocket squads, was able to drop down the SAM turret, but this lightning spike might be able to finish off the tech lab, although that would be a bit foolish of Jony to let that happen. Jony's got a sizable army. I mean, Unleashed, he's only got a couple of disintegrators and a couple of Storm Riders. 2. He's got 2 Storm Riders. So he lost 3 in this engagement over the tech lab, and the tech lab probably not going to go down. I can't imagine Jony letting that go down. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, by the way. We do have him moving in. Don't want to call this one early, but I would guess, based on the fact that he does have a couple of avatars and plenty of anti-infantry for these disintegrators, he's probably going to be able to take down this expansion. He did take down the portal. No more reinforcements. Unleashed is going to have to be relying on base defenses, which avatars are going to be able to clean up in all of these base defenses, if managed properly. And, you know, killing the buzzer squads does kind of help, but the buzzer hives just remake the buzzer squads, so, you know, you gotta get to the root of the problem, so to speak. It doesn't really do too much good if you're just constantly killing buzzer squads. I'm sure Jony knows that, though. Dropping down the Hand of Nod so we can try and get some units out, some infantry specifically, possibly just gonna mass up some militant rocket squads. That is a pretty common tactic, and all of the Storm Riders do go down. So now, and Unleashed did have to sell off that 1 gravity stabilizer, get some of that money back to fund his army. Not that there's much of an army, except this warp chasm, and based on that build time, I would say an Eradicator Hexapod. But yes, I am right, Eradicator Hexapod. 5,000 credits, that is a lot of money. So both players now going to be having their epic units. Jony does have his first, and Rage Generator does go off. Not going to be doing a whole lot because there's not a whole lot of... Oh, it affects base defenses. Well, you learn something new every day. Looks like he's going to be taking down that forklift, maybe? Could be going for some actual buildings, throwing some fire on the Tiberium field, going for a harvester. I would say Jony should be able to clean this up, even with this storm column here. Unleashed just doesn't have anything, any army to follow it up with. I mean, yeah, base defenses are great, storm columns, obelisks are great, but if you don't have an army to back it up, what's it really going to do? It's just going to get steamrolled. Because, especially with the Black Hand member in here, basically between the Redeemer and the Obelisk, it was basically a two-shot, you know, it did get sold off. So, Unleashed did get some of that money back. And Eradicator Hexapod, I can't tell what units are in there. I think Shock Troopers, but I'm not positive. Sells off the Eradicator Hexapod production facility. And Eradicator Hexapods, if you're wondering what the +4 is, they do get money back, or Unleashed gets money every time his Eradicator Hexapod kills a unit, and I do believe it is based on what type of unit it is. Dropping the power plant down on the front line is not necessarily a good idea, although it might be a good idea. Never mind, there's no Storm Riders, so it's not, you know, necessarily a good idea because, you know, if you don't have very much power and this is what's really keeping your base online and it's out in the open like this, could easily get taken out. Both players just kind of lax right now. Jony healing up his Avatar and Redeemer, very good choice there. Don't want to, you know, go into an engagement with a brand new epic unit when your epic unit's at half health, especially when you don't have very much backup for it. Although, an Eradicator Hexapod with the Shock Troopers, I don't know who would win. That'd be a tough call. Have to be one of those you'd have to see it probably. But throwing a couple of obelisks and a Devastator warship, I mean both players, hard to say who's going to come out ahead. Does teleport back a little bit. I guess he has a Prodigy in there somewhere. Or the Prodigy right there. Mastermind, as it is called. But Jony's just kind of base creeping. Not actually going to bring units up to take care of that Devastator warship. Just going to take it down with base defenses. And that Corruptor trying to heal up the Eradicator Hexapod doesn't quite work. Oh, good move by Jony. The EMP Raider Buggies, EMP Burst, special ability by the Raider Buggies, locking down that Eradicator Hexapod for 15 seconds or so. Eradicator Hexapod comes back online, and they're both at roughly half health. Eradicator Hexapod's a little bit lower down on health. Does get microed back by the Mastermind. It looks like the Avatar might have been going on a mission to try and kill that Mastermind. Couldn't quite tell. Raider Buggy missed with the EMP blast. Mastermind grabs the operations center, sells it off, might be able to take down an obelisk. Nope, gets crushed. The Black Hand squad did get crushed there. And where did the Mastermind go? Lost the Mastermind. That was a pretty good move. Nope, Mastermind back here, still alive at roughly half health. And we have a battle ending kind of in a stalemate. I mean, neither side accomplished too much. I mean, Jony did have to back out. He had a base creep going on up to there, but now he's basically lost all base defense. Probably wants to sell that obelisk off, does not, loses it instead. Now 3 Devastator warships. Looks like, you know, Jony was looking to be in pretty good shape, but now it's a hard call to make. Both players do have epic units. Unleashed does have air superiority, and, I mean, Jony's got a Venom, but when you have a Venom, and I don't even know if it has the laser capacitor upgrade, it doesn't look like it does. That's not going to be doing very much to the Devastator warships that are getting repaired. An Eradicator Hexapod Mastermind combo, as we saw by Unleashed, his micro, you know, it's pretty good. He is able to micro that Eradicator Hexapod back away from damage, as well as we saw him go forward, grab that operations center, sell it off, get a quick, with, you know, 750 cash. That's, who knows, you know, part of a unit could have been able to finish building an extra Devastator warship with that money. And it also, you know, kind of sets Jony back in the tech. Venom not going to get taken out, Unleashed doesn't have any anti-air. Wants to, possibly, you would think, take down the Redeemer. I didn't even know it was that low on health. So it looks like Unleashed now in better shape, as Jony has lost his epic unit and doesn't have much to follow it up with, except for a bunch of Venoms. And a couple of Avatars, but when you've got only a couple of Avatars and your opponent has 3 Devastator warships, an Eradicator Hexapod, a Mastermind, and a Healing Corruptor, what you gonna do? Jony, being clever, dropping down the stealth mines, could end up taking out that Eradicator Hexapod, although not if Unleashed is paying attention, and also not if this Corruptor continues healing it. These Devastator warships, you know, Unleashed has nothing to shoot down the Venom, so these Devastator warships will all go down. They need to kind of hightail it back and hopefully be able to get saved by a base defense. The Plasma Missile Battery. One Venom did go down, but when you're, you know, trading one Venom for one Devastator warship, that's a pretty good trade-off. Corruptor able to hear the Eradicator Hexapod almost up to full, and Annihilator Tripods out of Unleashed. Actually, don't know where that came from. We do have Jony's 6 now. He lost one, built 2 more. His Venom's going to be taken down, possibly a power plant. They don't have that laser capacitor upgrade. 2 of them do go down, splash damage from that plasma missile battery. Too much for them to handle. If they can take out this technology assembler, that would be a pretty big deal, because that is, of course, $4,000, and it sets Unleashed back. He won't be able to build any more Annihilator Hexapods. He won't be able to build any sort of Eradicator Hexapod, Annihilator Tripod, Eradicator Hexapods production facility. So that'll set him back 4,000 credits in the tech, and he can't really afford to remake that. Neither player can really afford to lose too much at this point. And it looks like Jony did stealth both of those avatars, sending in the EMP buggies. Yes, locks down the Annihilator Tripod and the Eradicator Hexapod, but he doesn't have anything doing any damage. So yeah, that's great that you just delayed an Eradicator Hexapod, but it doesn't really do anything if you're not dealing damage during that time. So the avatars got in kind of one free hit. Jony does sell off that airfield, but 2 avatars versus, and well, and now he has an obelisk. Was able to get off one, not, avatars are just walking over to this building, sitting around, not doing a whole lot. You'd kind of expect maybe he's going to go for the counterattack for the base ray, something like that. He does still have this economy going up here versus Unleashed just now getting this reestablished down here, so Jony's probably got more money coming in. Not sure why he dropped down that SAM site, as the Devastator warships are way over here, and the Eradicator Hexapod is what's in your base killing your stuff. SAM sites, SAM turrets aren't going to be doing a whole lot when you've got an Eradicator Hexapod in your base, killing your stuff. Avatar's pulling back probably to this last corner, possibly going to try and make some sort of last stand situation. Unleashed does have a buzzer squad in this building. He can see, you know, he can probably see the operations center, refinery, and power plant. He knows Jony's got a base there, and it's just a matter of time until he takes it out, or we will see if Jony can make something happen. He is dropping down the war factory. He does kind of have, you know, fair size, well, now a small amount of Tiberium left, which is going to fund his economy with these 3 harvesters, 2 refineries. He is going to, I mean, he could sell one of those harvesters off, get a couple of bucks back, and put that money into possibly flame tanks. That's actually could be, that's a really interesting choice, because you stealth 3-4 flame tanks, even 2 flame tanks. You can charge around the map, you know, take out Tiberium spikes, which you might want to be going for power plants. Or if he can make it all the way over here without getting spotted, take out, you know, an airfield, MCV, although the drone platform can take off, which I'm assuming Unleashed would do if he was under attack by a couple of flame tanks. Could take out a number of production facilities, though. These are mostly unguarded. Unleashed getting a second drone platform, so... that could... Yeah, you know, you lose one drone platform, well, okay, I've got a whole nother one over here. So Jony, if he can afford to do that, I mean, he does have this entire Tiberium field to harvest from, so he can definitely afford that, and we do have quite possibly the final battle. Let's see if Jony can pull something out of his hat, or if Unleashed is going to take it right here, right now. Devastator warships moving on the left side. Jony does sell off one of the refineries, power plant does go down, avatars moving in, but where are the flame tanks? They're heading back, possibly going to be going around for the flank, it looks like, or clearing out some buildings, not doing too much in this battle. Eradicator Hexapod does have 1 rank up, and avatars get spotted. More money for Unleashed, going to be crushing those. Good call. Jony was able to take down the healers, but he still has an Eradicator Hexapod in his ever smaller base. More and more stuff is getting taken out, but can Jony pull it off? MCV is not going to go down. Yes, it is. He does sell it off for 525 credits. He does have the crane there, which means he still has a build queue, but no base defenses. Could try and get an MCV out. No, not going to be getting out any sort of MCV out of a destroyed war factory. Obelisk half health. SAM site's not doing a whole lot as the Devastator warships are out of range, but getting taken out by attack bikes. One Devastator warship does go down. Tiberium harvesters, no refineries for them to drop their delicious Tiberium at, but flame tanks possibly going to be forcing some sort of base race situation. That's really Jony's only hope, as he has an epic unit in his base. And a flame tank controlled by the mastermind, taking out 2 power plants. Does Jony have anything else? No. So that was Jony's last building. Man, that was like back and forth, you know. You had Unleashed leading in the early game with that Seeker Mass, and then Jony just crushed it. Jony was coming back, and it was like, Jony's gonna win, then Unleashed's gonna win. Very complicated, very emotional map. It was just It was an emotional roller coaster for me. I hope it was for you too. 23 minutes. That was a pretty epic game. I am definitely entertained. I mean, definitely worthy of the match of the fortnight from GameReplays.org. Shout out to DJ Chill for choosing such a good game. Entertaining to watch, entertaining to cast, entertaining all around. Both good, good plays from both players. We saw pretty standard sort of openers from both players, and then we went into massing, and it was just all over the place. Econ graph pretty even. Unleashed was leading for part of the game, then they kind of evened out again. Unleashed pulled ahead at the end with that Tiberium field on the bottom right side. And not too much left to talk about. Very epic game, very awesome game, pretty evenly matched. It was, for a while there, you didn't know who was going to win. Anyways, I enjoyed this game. I hope you enjoyed this game. This is Sybert signing out.